right, let's get into a very important and very uncomfortable topic, and that is when, why, and how to fire a team member who's maybe not performing, or that we've outgrown them as a clinic. They're not stepping up. They might have misrepresented themselves. They are not able to do the tasks that they're assigned. There's a lot of reasons why we would let go of somebody that has been an important part of our team, or maybe they're new to our team and they're just not capable of keeping up with our pace. So let's talk about why we would fire, liberate back into the marketplace a team member. So what is the purpose of your team? What types of things are you expecting out of your team? So before you can even say why you're letting go of somebody, we need to reflect upon why we hired them and what purpose they have been given into our clinic here. So are they supposed to just check people in and out? Are they just supposed to answer phone calls? Are they performing clinical duties? Are they setting people up? Are they doing intakes, x-rays? There's 1,000 different tasks that need to be done in your clinic. So what were they initially expected to do? Did they know that upon day one? Were they given this list of all the things that they needed to perfect? Or were you just saying, hey, welcome to the clinic, we're gonna get you trained on all the things you need to be trained on, but maybe that just didn't happen. So let's talk about your team, right? So as you are hiring people, and make sure that you're watching the video on how to hire and what attributes to look for. Those 12 attributes in your team members are so key to the success of your team. But let's talk about your team, right? So there's this mountain of clinic here. So we usually start out with an average team. So to learn this right here, that's pretty easy. So we go from an average team to a good team, a little less of a gap here. This is a good team. Takes a little bit more to become a great team, but to be an elite team, this is a huge gap. In theory, all of this is 50%, and you need another 50% to become an elite team. It's really easy to start in practice and become an average team. Train this amount of training, it's just your systems, it's your basics, it's making sure that everybody's on board with the mission and the vision. To become a good team, this is when you start your refinement. To become a great team, you have to really be on the ball. Everybody needs to be functioning at 100%. But to become an elite team, which is what I run, which I'm very happy about, but it's taken years to get there, is everybody is running at 100% and is seeing the needs of everything else before it's even being asked of them. So when you're down in these 3 levels, it's hard because you don't know what you need. You haven't necessarily put out that expectation of what your team needs to be performing as. So before you can even think about why you're firing somebody, we need to go back to the basics of what you needed out of that position that you hired them for. Okay, so check yourself on why and what you needed them to do. Logistically, why can you fire somebody? Because they violated a policy, either a clinic policy or a state mandate, their laws or scope of practice. If you've had multiple complaints from a patient or on a team member from patients or other team members. And then also if they made a misrepresentation of themselves. So let's say I came to you and I said, yep, I can work full time, 5 days a week. I'm proficient in answering the phone. I can do social media. I'm able to do all of your office suite products. But then it comes to day 2 after training and you find out that I don't know how to dial a number. I'm not sure what Facebook means or Twitter means. I don't have any idea of how to open up or make an Excel spreadsheet. So I would have misrepresented myself. So we want to make sure that we are trying to overcome all of those objections or misrepresentations in the interview by asking appropriate questions. So again, why are they there and what position and tasks are they doing to fill that position? One story on that actually is we had a clinic who had hired somebody for a full-time position. And as you know, we phase in people because they're either coming from another job or they're trying to figure out a new routine. She had stated that, yeah, she can be here for full-time, which in our world would be 39 hours. And for the first week, she's like, well, I can only work afternoons because I don't have childcare in the morning. Okay, great. So that for that first week, we'll just train you in the afternoons. And then by week 2, you'll be full-time. Well, then week 2 comes along. Well, I still don't have all that childcare taken care of. So I can only still do afternoons. So then, you know, You look at the things, is this person worthy of it? Are they going to be able to follow through with the other things that they've said that they can do or be? And truly, if the needs of the clinic was a full-time position and they're only able to offer you part-time, that might not be something that you want to follow through with. So that's a huge misrepresentation. And you really need to check yourself on that, because if you say, hey, no, that's fine, just go ahead, we'll just keep you part-time. So now you've got what? One full-time, a part-time morning person, a part-time afternoon person, but it still is not reaching the goals and the vision of the clinic, because you've got all these people with their hands in your pocket, and it's just, there's no efficiency at all. So just be making sure that you are doing a great job in the interview and you're following through with those expectations of what that person needs to do to help you guys reach your higher levels of success, your clinic mission, your vision, your goal, right? All right. So when to let go of a person. This is the hard part, because there's never a good time to let go of somebody, but the longer you wait to let go of somebody, the harder it's going to be, and the more damage that they're going to be doing to the team, the clinic, and then the relationships that they're building with patients. If they are misrepresenting themselves, or they're coming in with a negative attitude, they're not giving their 100% like they said that they initially would, then you just have to let them go. It sucks, it's hard, and it's never easy, but you got to get them out of there. I had to let go of a really great therapist. She was my number one therapist in my eyes, and I didn't see all of the other things that were happening and going on there. And so when it was like her team coming to me and saying, hey, Amanda, we don't want to work with her anymore because of blah, 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 it was finally time for me to step up as a leader and do that hard thing and say, you got to go. We can't have you here anymore. I love you as a therapist, but you're not performing as a whole. And that's not okay. And that's not fair to the clinic or the team needs. I don't have to work with her 39 hours. I just see her every once in a while throughout the day, right? But her team sees her, and her team was telling her that her expectations of performance were way below par. Okay. So when, do it now. The instant you start getting that feeling in the back of your head, and it's like, hey, this person, I don't really know if they're giving me their best, or, I asked them to do that and this didn't get done, or, hey, I see them fiddle farting around, or this isn't happening. That's when you need to start checking yourself and saying, hey, I need to have a conversation with this team member. What's going on that's making them falter and not meeting those expectations? Is it me and I didn't give them the expectations appropriately? Are they seeing what I'm saying and doing as different things? So as soon as you start thinking this person, this team member, is not helping me reach my goals, that's when you need to have that first conversation. And it sucks. It's really hard, and your heart beats and you get all nervous, but you have to do it, because what is our end game here? We are here to help everyone seek higher levels of health. Now that means I want my patients to have the best experience ever. I want my team environment to be positive and thriving. I want everybody to reach their own personal goals. And so if somebody is not on board with that, they have to go. I cannot have that in my clinic. That is toxic, that is cancerous, and that will spread. And then it will have people saying, hey, I don't want to work for you anymore because I can't work with that person. Or you might be losing patients because they see a different side of things than this team member is representing. So you have to be aware of everything that's happening and when it's going on. And I guarantee you, your instinct tells you instantly something is changing in that environment, in that relationship with that team member. Our instincts are so incredible and powerful, so trust them fully. Okay, now how to fire a team member. Again, this is probably the top 3 worst things you'll ever have to do, is letting go of somebody. It's hard, it's challenging, and it's emotional. So the biggest tip is take the emotion out of it. When you see that person, are they helping you reach your clinic goals? Are they striving to be the best team member that they can be? Are they putting in the work? Are they putting in the outside time to make themselves better? Is their relationships with everybody on the team upstanding and on par? This is what you have to look at. Is it an emotional decision like, oh, I know they're a single mom and I know they really need to take care of it, but twist that, because that's exactly the reason that they need to be stepping up to the plate. If I'm a single mom, I'm going to work, I'm showing up, I'm performing, I'm making sure that I am able to sustain that position so that I can provide for my family. So the reason that you might be thinking, oh, I shouldn't let him go because of this, is the exact reason why they should be performing. So remembering that. You need to be having check-ins with your teammates. So again, going back to that intuition, if you start feeling that that team member is underperforming, you need to check in with them. You need to have those conversations. It's super easy nowadays to do that. You just say, hey, I need to talk to you, send them a text, hey, can you come in early? I need to talk to you about this, an email. And then anytime you have met with a team member, you want to have like just a couple little bullet points, keep it simple, couple 3 bullet points of your agenda, and then just reviewing that with them, making sure that everything is signed, like this is what we talked about today, this is what moving forward you need to do, perform better, and this is also what I will help you with. Like we had a therapist who wasn't doing her chart notes. Like this is something in our state that has to be done. It has to be signed within 24 hours. Our clinic does it even better. At the end of the day, it has to be signed and done. So repetitively, she was being talked to, you know, finally I'm like, had to get it on paper. This is this, the next time you're out. Guess what? She was fine for 30 days and then it happened again. Like, so it was documented. We had the conversations. In our state, we are an at-will employer, which means that we can just let go of people instantly without having any reason. But for me, I wanted to make sure that I was checking in with the teammate, like, hey, what's going on? Do you need a different type of system to do this? Do you need more time in between your patients? What can we do to make this happen for you? Because I don't want that to just throw it on them. This is my team too. If I need to give them more tools, then that's something that I need to be providing for them. So we're checking in along the way. Now, if if the team member is not stepping up or they're continually falling back, then that's just where their low level is. They just want to stay in this average zone. They don't want to get up here where the rest of us want to be. So that might be when we're outgrowing these teammates. And that makes it even harder because somebody who got us to a good or a great level might not be an elite team member. They might just tap out here. So then you have to look at the big picture. Is this team member going to be getting me to the level that I want to be at? If I want to be an elite team and this person has tapped out, I have to let them go. You step up or you step out. And you have to be willing to have that non-emotional, this is the clinic goal, this is our vision, this is my ultimate. That's what we have to be able to do and say and recognize for us. And it's hard. But at the end of the day, we are servicing our patients to 100% of our ability. Our team is thriving to their 100% of our ability. And we are making decisions that keep us on point for our ultimate goals. So how to release somebody, you need to have those check-ins, just making sure that we're having that, like, hey, do you need something from me? This is what we're recognizing. What's going on? Let's make that change. If they make the change, great. Then that's just an easy check-in continually from here on out. If it's repetitive and you've talked to them about it, then you have to do it. You have to let them go, because instantly, as soon as you let somebody go, I guarantee it, within the next week, you'll have people coming in and saying, I didn't really like her. Oh my gosh, that person had such a negative attitude. Or yeah, she always said this. Or man, yeah, she would. And then you're just like, why didn't anybody say this to me before? It's because people are afraid to make conflict. So trust your gut, trust your instinct. If your patients are saying something, then that is a huge red flag. If your teammates, your other clinicianal teammates are saying like, hey, this isn't happening, then you need to trust them too. So be the bigger person, be the person that sees the mission, that accepts the mission, and will do anything to get there, including having to let go of some amazing people, because our end goal is to be that elite team. Whether that elite team is $1 million practice, whether that elite team is $500,000 a year, we want to be the best that we can be and provide the best service for our patients. So I hope that helped. Again, take the emotion out of it. It's really hard. And you set up those expectations from the get-go when you have a new person. And that day one training is important to setting up those levels of expectation in all areas of what that team member is going to be providing for your clinic.